So I'm hoping so far, in the previous chapters, I've convinced you, unless you didn't already need convincing, this idea that you are pure story. And that if we get over the idea that life stories are just for those people in the public eye, if we pause, reflect and celebrate our own lives and the lives of those with whom we hold dear, then magical things can happen to connect the past to the present and the future. Now, we're still not quite there yet with the practical bits. They're coming in following chapters. And as I said at the beginning of the course, whilst these earlier chapters are more aimed at setting up the importance of telling our stories and why, some of you might just get that already and want to race ahead and get into the doing of it all. And that's completely fine. I've built this course in a way that enables you to follow your own path through the content. I do believe though that if you follow the natural flow of the chapters, you'll get much more from your time, which will ultimately impact your understanding of what we're doing here. So this chapter is all about the why you should take the time to tell your or someone else's life story, but also why I think that even though there's different ways you can approach it in terms of writing it or just doing an audio recording, I really believe that filming it yourself or with the help of a loved one can create something that's truly magical. In the first module, we look briefly at the history of how we find ourselves at a point where even the possibility that we can record our own lives is remarkable. This module is just a very, very short whistle-stop tour, but it brings in the importance of family media, namely photos, movies, documents, and any other objects that connect with the story of your family. Because these things are of great importance as we begin to plan, research, and tell our story. Then I go into some of the things that happened in my life that brought me to the idea and the inspiration for Life Booth. And by reflecting on this, I want to convey to you how important family photos are, but also what happens without the stories that connect to them. Because photographs are ultimately objects, and all objects require meaning to help reveal their stories to us. Finally, in the last module, we look at the power of video for telling our stories, that whilst I think any steps that you take to record your story, either through writing it, just doing an audio recording, or simply just jotting down notes in a book or on the back of photos, that all of these things are an amazing gift to yourself and your family. But there's something truly remarkable about video. This then sets us up to start looking into the more doing and practical aspects in the following chapters on how to plan, research and tell your story. And even if you decide you don't want to video your life story but write it down, for example, many of the things we talk about will still help you on that journey. And if you do choose to embrace video to tell it, then I'll take you through absolutely everything you need to know, from the kit you need according to what you already might have and what you can afford to buy if need be. And I'll break this down from no budget to low, medium and high, all the way through to filming yourself or someone else and how to edit and share.